Hi folks, this is Josh from the U City Public Library, and today we're going to be doing two things. We are going to be reading a story time of Over in the Meadow, a counting rhyme by Olive A. Wadsworth, and then I'm going to show you folks how to make a little bumblebee toy. He floats on his little popsicle stick and goes up and down, side to side, and you get a little buzzy him around. He's actually not that hard to make. But we're going to go through the steps on that, okay? But we're going to start with our story time. So let's get settled in here. I'm going to be off camera because this book is a little wide, so it doesn't really fit me and the book in the camera. Just taking a minute to get all settled here. Alright. Okay. Over in the meadow. In the sand and the sun lived an old mother turtle and her little turtle one. Dig, said the mother, we dig, said the one. So they dug all day in the sand, in the sun. Over in the meadow, where the stream runs blue, lived an old mother fish and her little fishes too. Swim, said the mother, we swim, said the two, so they swam all day where the stream runs blue. Over in the meadow, in a hole in a tree, lived an old mother owl and her little owls three. To-woo, said the mother, to-woo, said the three, so they to-wooed all day in a hole in a tree. Over in the meadow, by the old barn door, lived an old mother rat and her little ratties four. Gnaw, said the mother, we gnaw, said the four, so they gnawed all day by the old barn door. Over in the meadow, in a snug beehive, lived an old mother bee and her little bees five. Buzz, said the mother, we buzz, said the five, so they buzzed all day in a snug beehive. Over in the meadow, in a nest built of sticks, lived an old mother crow and her little crows six. Caw, said the mother, we caw, said the six, so they cawed all day in a nest built of sticks. Over in the meadow, where the grass grows so even, lived an old mother frog and her little froggies seven. Jump, said the mother, we jump, said the seven, so they jumped all day where the grass grows so even. Over in the meadow, by the old mossy gate, lived an old mother lizard and her little lizards eight. Bask, said the mother, we bask, said the eight, so they basked all day by the old mossy gate. Over in the meadow, by the old Scotch pine, lived an old mother duck and her little ducks nine. Quack, said the mother, we quack, said the nine, so they quacked all day by the old Scotch pine. Over in the meadow, in a cozy wee den, lived an old mother beaver and her little beavers 10. Beeve, said the mother, we beeve, said the 10, so they beeved all day in a cozy wee den. And that was Over in the Meadow by Olive A. Wadsworth. And now we're going to discuss how to make your own little bee to fly around your own little meadow. So, you're going to pick up your kit from the public library, and inside the bag you will find a Dixie cup with a slot in it with a popsicle stick already fitted into it, a bee for you to color and cut out, a glue stick, a piece of green paper, and a variety of felt flowers to stick on for yourself. Each kit will have some different flowers and different amounts, but there should be ample amounts to make everybody happy. So to start with, the first thing you're going to need to do is take your green strip, and you'll get it, it'll be a full piece, and there won't be any of these little fringes cut. And what you're going to do with your adult is cut little strips out, but you don't want to cut all the way down. You want to leave about an inch or so, so 2 little fingers wide between the edge of the paper and where you stop cutting. We don't want to cut all the way through because that'll make our next job a little harder. And you can cut these as thick or as thin as you want. You can make them pointy or curvy or however you like. I just like them to be nice and straight because it makes this part a little easier. To make them curl, like in this one, what I do is I take my finger and I roll the little roll around, and you'll see it curves. You can also use for this pencils or markers or crayons or even the glue stick that comes with it. Just make sure it's nice and tight when you curl it around. Hold it for a couple seconds and look, it springs into shape. Then for the next part of this, we're going to take our glue stick, get it open, and we're going to run glue around the edge where you see this little lip here. You want to get plenty of glue around that part of your cup. This may take a minute just to make sure you've got plenty of glue in spots where they belong. We're going to set our glue down. We're going to take our fringe and we're going to glue it by setting it nicely against the lip and rolling it around our cup. And you want to have your curls facing outwards, like that, so that they aren't as much of a problem for trying to get everything aligned. Now when you reach the end like this, where you have this little bit of overlap, what you're going to do is you're then going to take your glue and you're going to run it on this edge here so that when you overlap this nice and tight, it makes your nice little meadow. And you're going to have to hold it, and we're going to do what we did with the book, and we're going to count to 10. So 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, all the way to 10, and then we can let go, and it should hold in place. Now if your glue needs a little bit of extra time, that's okay. When I was doing this, I took that time to color in my bee how I wanted it to. When I went with a nice traditional yellow bee. And I also glued my flowers on at this point in time. I set it aside and let it wait, and while I was doing that, I cut out my bee as close as I wanted to the shape. Now, some of you may need your adult to help with cutting materials, and that's fine. Just make sure you're the one that gets to color it just the way you want, and have them help you cut it down to size. Then at the end, you'll glue it on the top of the popsicle, let it sit for a little while, and then you're done. And you'll have your own little bee traveling across a meadow. Thank you again for joining me, and this is Josh from the U City Public Library, and I hope everybody has as good and wonderful a day as they can.